David, what were your influences growing up for guitar?
Who are my influences as a guitar player? Well, I've kind of drawn from lots of different guitar players and music that I like, you know. And I think as guitar players, we all kind of do that, you know. We're all kind of amalgamates, or we take a little bit from this guy, a little bit from this woman, a little bit from this guy, a little bit from this guy. We pull a little bit of things that we like and then add a heavy dose of your own style, and that's you know what I mean? And I think that's what I've tried to that's what I've tried to do, is take the things I like about various players and incorporate some of them into my playing. Now, I like all kinds of music pretty much. So some of my influences on guitar would be players like Eddie Van Halen, Gary Moore, B.B. King on the bluesy end, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Robert Cray, Frank Gambale, Al Di Meola, really like his playing a lot. There's just so many, tons and tons. Alex Lifeson. And my influences have kind of changed as a new guy's come on the scene, or as I gotten more and more into a particular guy's playing technique. So I kind of like Joe Satriani. I kind of like so many different players. I pull things from and use in my own kind of techniques. So those are just some of my influences. I'm sure there's more. I'm just forgetting them.
Now, this is an important question. A lot of people want to know what David Taub listens to. And I think I know. All right, dude, what do you listen to on your CD?
I listen to just about everything. I like rock, jazz, blues, metal. I like some rap, some hardcore stuff, some real heavy stuff. So I have a broad base. So on my CD changer at any given time, you might find, you know, some Chick Corea. You might find some Stevie Ray Vaughan and Dave Matthews Band. You know, I even like. I'm not a big pop guy either, but some of it I think is pretty good, and there's some real talented songwriting like Coldplay. I like you know, I like some classic rock. You know, how could you be a guitar player and not like Led Zeppelin and Boston and Rush and, you know, a lot of that stuff. But I like more of the modern rock stuff, which is probably not as modern anymore because a lot of the bands have broken up. But bands like Soundgarden, I like that Seattle sound. Alice in Chains is one of my favorites. I listen to them a lot. Rage Against the Machine, I'm a big Rage Against the Machine fan. System of a Down. I really like some of the new bands now too. Bands like Finger Eleven, Breaking Benjamin. I like singer-songwriters. I like a lot of female vocalists I find to be really cool. Natalie Imbruglia, I really like some of her stuff.
She's hot.
Yeah, she is. I think Jewel kind of started out in like coffee shops in San Diego, my hometown.
She lived in her car or something when she was struggling.
Is that right?
Well, I don't know if that's an urban legend.
Right. That's certainly possible.
If you're a musician, you struggle.
Yeah, that's for sure. I really like Tool. It's probably one of my favorite bands, Tool. So I really like a lot of bands, and I really like. You know, I love music. It's one of my big passions in life, and I like a lot of jazz and blues, and I really like to mix it up. And I also listen to, here's something that I find kind of interesting, is I really like drummers, you know, and I really like how they take a certain rhythmic idea and then apply it to their whole drum kit. And I draw a lot of inspiration from listening to really good drummers. And I'm a guitar player, but I find what they do rhythmically really fascinating, and I think as a guitar player it's so important to have such great rhythmic skills when you're playing rhythm, and rhythmic skills when you're playing lead. Have a big vocabulary of rhythm chops, and I really find that listening to good drummers really help me with that. And the drummers I like are like Carter Buford, the guy from the Dave Matthews Band. He's amazing. The guy from Tool, he is unbelievable. Joey from Slipknot, I really like some of the stuff he does. So I really like Dave Weckl, you know, on the jazz end. I really like listening to good drummers and guys who can really, you know, play with good dynamics, can really lay the groove down in a pocket and then open it up and really do some interesting things. You know, Neil Peart, you know, who is just a technical genius on the classical end, and then you have like the guy from Tool who's like a modern day Neil Peart, you know. just amazing drummers. So try listening to drummers with a different ear and listen to what they're doing rhythmically and see if you can pull a riff and play it on the guitar in that type of rhythm and that kind of stuff. So basically I like just about all kinds of music, you know. Metallica, you know, and another band that's one of my big influences that really, you know, my brother actually introduced me to that band, and once I heard them, that kind of shifted the paradigm for me because they really were doing something different, you know, and you know, and certainly Black Sabbath, it all goes back to Black Sabbath, you know. I think talking about heavy metal, you gotta put Black Sabbath as probably one of the pioneers, you know, one of the starters, and but Metallica just had like a different spin on it, and when I first heard them, that was like a real big like kind of like it really started to come together as far as things that really what drew me to certain types of music. Yeah, so that's just some of the things that I like to listen to.
A common question David and I get asked quite a bit or emailed is why we can't perform video song lessons like we used to in the old days. Well, unfortunately we can't. We would love to do that, and it was great fun, but we've had to take a different path. There's large record companies that will not allow that access. So we cannot, our hands are tied, but we have forged forward and we're able to obtain rights to produce songs on DVDs. And they're a lot more involved than the old YouTube lessons. They take probably 3 weeks or more to do one song lesson. We break the whole unit down and we basically pay an agent, we pay licensing fees, and a lot of times people don't realize as well, because it's not your business, is just because you try to obtain rights, which costs money for a song, does not mean they're going to approve you, because it's their right. If it's my book or my song, I don't have to approve anyone. A lot of people don't see the other side of the copyright issue, and I'm all for, you know, wish we could provide these for free for you, but the thing is if you own a copyright, or if you wrote a book or you wrote a song and you don't want a certain party producing it or using it, that's your right. It's your right. So a lot of the people who followed us and wish, well, why can't they do that? And, well, you know, it's their right. It's their property. So even though we think it would help grow their base and get more people involved in their music, if it's older, that's really not the case that they see it. Maybe it's not the artist, maybe it's the lawyers, the bigwigs, whatever. But the bottom line is we are forging forward. We are working with the artists and the legal teams, and we have secured rights. So it's all legit. They get paid, and it's a lot more work. You get a higher quality product. We wish we could do it for free, but it's not feasible. So we do offer that too. We're going to keep doing YouTube lessons for free. We're actually ramping up. We're doing more and more. We're hiring additional talent, some great women players and different styles. So we're just forging ahead, and it's going to be great. So rock on. That's why we can't do it. If we could do it, we would do it. Believe me.